And then Geum-bi starts getting sicklier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What's the first thing that happens?
I don't know.
Oh, well, she wants to, it's gonna be summer vacation, and she wants to give all of her classmates some presents. And so she goes to like a stationery shop, and there she sees this like older girl that's like trying to steal some pens.
Mhm.
But she like glares at her, and so the girl like gives her the pens back, but the girl keeps like coughing and stuff. So the girl gave her some germs, and so the next day Geum-bi is really sick. But she insists on going to school because it's the last day of school and she might not be able to go back to school the next year, so she wants to say goodbye to all her classmates.
Mhm.
And so she makes it. She's late to class, but they're all waiting there for her because they didn't want to go without saying goodbye to her.
Mhm.
They tell her that she should sing, and so she goes up to the front of the class and starts singing, but then like her vision starts to blur and she basically passes out. And she gets hospitalized. And it's sad too because Chisu was waiting there for her to give her a end of like or summer vacation present basically. And nobody told him.
Wow.
You would think that somebody would have told him, like, hey, Geum-bi's in the hospital.
Why would they tell him?
Because they're buddies.
They didn't know he was waiting for her.
No, but, why wouldn't they tell him that she's, like, ill if they know that he, like, cares about her?
They don't know.
I thought they did.
No, they didn't.
Wow.
He secretly cares about her. Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, anyways, they end up hospitalizing her. She caught pneumonia because her immune system's really weak. And it turns out that her roommate is that same girl that got her sick in the first place, that was trying to steal. And she has a weak heart. She needs a heart transplant. And she's been hospitalized for a while, we can assume.
Mm-hmm.
Her dad like never responds to her, and she thinks that he like doesn't care about her. But we later find out that it's because he's been like looking for somebody to donate a heart to her, and so he's been like busy doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And so while she's in the hospital, Geum-bi starts to get curious about death. And is going around being all morbid and stuff, asking people about death, but nobody is like able to like talk honestly about death to her because they're all like weirded out by it.
Man, everybody should be more curious about death.
Mm-hmm.
It is healthy.
Indeed. But so the girl that is in that room with her, what's her name? Unsu,
yeah.
She takes her to the morgue and she takes her to the funeral part of the hospital, and then Geum-bi lays in a coffin and pretends to be dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then when her dad and Kangi find out that she did that, they freak out. But then she sees a psychologist, and the psychologist is like, "Oh, you laid in the coffin? Good for you."
Yeah.
She says that it's healthy that people should talk honestly to children about death because then it won't be a scary thing for them.
Yeah.
So Geum-bi actually is quite like accepting of her mortality.
Yes. Which is good.
Yes. And so then she spends some time in the hospital. And they like the parents debate whether she should get this experimental treatment or not. But then the thing that pushes them to try it is that the medicine that she's been taking has like a side effect on her, which is that she can't swallow. So she almost like chokes on some food. And that's what like gets them to want to try that. It's a spinal injection. And the reason why they didn't want to do it is because they didn't want her to lose her hearing, but they would rather try that than keep doing the medication that she's been doing, which like is the side effect to that is worse.
Yeah. Also, because she says that she'll do it.
Yeah. And while she's at the hospital, we meet this dude that's been like running tests and studies, trying to on gene therapy, which is something that he thinks can help Niemann-Pick. And so we like see some of his research and stuff.
Yes, and this dude is played by the actor that played the president in Shopping King Louis.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so Geum-bi's doctor ends up joining hands with this doctor, even though he's skeptical of the research, but he's like really trying to save Geum-bi's life, so he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. So they team up with Kangi eventually. She's like kind of helping them a little bit at first, and then like she's fully helping them do research because she's a researcher. And
that's weird.
Yeah.
Because she does a total different thing.
Well, yeah, but I think it's like similar in that she's able to go through the data and help them, you know, with the data collection and putting together all the data and stuff. But the thing that like really gets that doctor to want to do it is Geum-bi like gets like really sick again. Right? I thought it was. I don't know.
Wow.
Eventually, she has like a near-death experience. But I think this is like a year later.
No.
Maybe. It is. It's a year later.
If I
like
had watched
at
it,
first,
we would know.
Like, you know, they have her go home and everything seems fine at first, but then she starts to like get cranky because her like motor skills start to go. So she can't walk and move around as well as she could, and she also has trouble using chopsticks. And so Kangi's like really like forceful about her like trying, like never giving up basically. But you know, it's painful and it's hard for Geum-bi, so she like doesn't want to do it. And Hee-chul is like, why are you making her do it if she doesn't want to do it?
Yeah.
And so they have a fight over it.
I'm pretty sure also like one of the effects of the disease is like aggression too.
Yeah.
Because it affects the brain.
Yep.
Yes.
And so and before this, Kangi and Hee-chul decided to get married because they like each other, but also because it would help them officially adopt Geum-bi.
Oh, I have things to say about that.
About what?
How useless it is that there's so many requirements for people to adopt children, and like I get like they have to make sure that the child is going to like the safest and the best place for them. But like even when Kangi was trying to foster Geum-bi like early on in the drama, because Hee-chul had like run off somewhere and like the teacher was like poking around, they didn't let her because she was single. And it's like if she has the money and if
she didn't have the money though.
But she had the potential to get the money. She could have just sold her antiques.
She had already sold the antiques.
No, she hadn't. Not yet.
Well.
But that
wouldn't have lasted for long though.
Yeah, but I mean, at this point, she was just trying to keep her there. because they were gonna take her away to an orphanage.
Yeah.
And like she cared about Geum-bi, but like they would have rather put her in an orphanage than kept her like where she felt safe and where she was cared for. And it's just annoying, but like,
Yeah. I guess so.
the poor children.
Yeah. But so, you know, that's also around this time the Heechul's scammer friends decide to start a business, and they bring him in to it because he also, part of the requirements is that he needs a steady job.
Mm-hmm.
And so they start this business where they run errands for people.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the caseworkers that's working on the adoption papers, he goes to check it out because they think it's a shady business.
Yeah.
But it turns out it's not.
Nope.
They even put on a play for the children at the hospital so that Unsu can accept death and can
except
be
her papa.
reunited with her papa.
Mm-hmm.